Hey, welcome back. I'm going to try to do a short video here. I've been working on this for a little while and I'm getting ready to get pushed to a little bit faster speed than I want to be. I'm going to take a look at two guns that I've ended up with, a Mossberg Patriot Predator and a Ruger Gen 2, both of them in 6.5 PRC. I have had the Mossberg a little over a year and done some work on that gun. When I got it, it was probably not the best shooting gun. It was acceptable at best. And started tinkering with that gun and managed to make it shoot a little bit better. There's a video on my Pips Life Facebook or a YouTube page that tells kind of what we did to that gun. We started out cleaning the barrel channel out so that the barrel wasn't touching the stock. The stock is adequate, but not a real solid stock. But that's what you expect out of a budget gun. And these are both budget guns. The Mossberg's more so than the Ruger by far. So we cleaned the channel out, shot it again. Didn't see a ton of improvement, a little bit of improvement. Went back and started looking at how the action is attached to the stock. And I have to tell you, it's not good. When you tighten those action screws down, it actually tries to spread the stock out. There's just not a lot holding the thing as steady as you want it to be a very accurate gun. It, again, was very adequate. Now, my disclaimer here is I am not a gunsmith. I'm a guy in West Texas that shoots pigs and white-tailed deer and coyotes. So these guns are not 1,000-yard target guns for me. These are out in the pasture shooting pigs and coyotes and a whitetail every once in a while when season is around. So trying to make this gun where I have more confidence in it. So we went in and bedded the stock. And again, there's a video on YouTube about what we did as we worked through that stock. Went in and adjusted the trigger, and the gun absolutely began to shoot well. 1-inch groups were not uncommon for the gun, and I'm very pleased with it. We'll look at it here in a minute. Then I have an opportunity to sell the gun. So as I started into that conversation of selling it, I went ahead and began looking for the Ruger Gen 2 in 6.5 PRC, and that proved to be extremely hard to find until just a couple of 3 weeks ago. And I found one of those at Shields and bought it and have started shooting it. I've only shot it about 5 or 6 times. Seems to be shooting well. Did not have a good bench, a good rest when I took it to the range, but I was anxious to shoot it and see what it did. And it shot about 1.5 inch group on what I consider not the best day off the bench at all. Since then, we've done some work on the Ruger, and there'll be a video coming forward for that too. But right now, let's look at the guns, and I'll show you kind of what I like and dislike. Both of them do me very, very well, and I would recommend either one of them. But understand, there's some work to be done on either one of them. So here's the two guns, and you can see this is the Ruger. This is the Mossberg. Both of these guns are outfitted exactly the same way. They have 6-24 Genesis Blackhound scopes on both of them. Both of these guns have had the bolt polished. The Mossberg made it shine a little better. It's very smooth action, a little wobbly at the back end of the action. I'll show you that in a minute. The Ruger, we worked real hard to get as much of the zip sound out of the action as we could, and we have brought that down tremendously with the polishing and the work on that bolt. It does quite well. It's a very smooth bolt right now. But we'll go over and look at the Mossberg, and I'll show you kind of what I like and don't like. The Mossberg has a fluted bolt, which is aesthetically very nice. I like that. And the bolt, again, is quite a smooth action on this bolt. One of the things that I got into on the Ruger was the bolt lift. We'll talk about that in a minute. The bolt on this is very smooth, and once we got the trigger adjusted, it has a very nice trigger. A little bit heavier, but it works very well. I think it's at about a little over 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds is what it is. The stock is acceptable. Nice butt pad, considering the gun doesn't have a ton of recoil. The problem comes, see if I can show this to you. This stock, see this? This is what bothers me. That flex in that stock. Not that it's just not exactly what you like. And the kicker is, I'm a real big MTD fan, and they don't have a stock to fit this gun. So I would change the stock on this and have what I consider a real shooter gun. But we went in and bedded the gun with, again, I'm not a gunsmith, what I would say a country boy bedding, and it works quite well. Gun shoots very well. That looseness I'm telling you about, this, and every one I've looked at has this. And that, I know all of the bolts move back there, but this bolt, as it goes through, is not as tight as I would think it would be. I'm not telling you there's something wrong with it. It's just different than I'm used to. But once you get the bolt closed, the gun shoots really well. Pretty stock, like the camo. The gun weighs, as it sits with this scope, 9 pounds, 3 ounces. And that's very doable for what I do. So this is really a good gun for the money. I think this is a $400 or was a $400 gun when I bought it, and it's a little bit more now, I think. But Mossberg gets a really bad name, and with their accuracy, this gun has a fluted barrel. It's threaded. It's got all the options, all the whistles and bells, and it shoots good. I don't know what else you want out of a gun than some of that. If you want something to brag to your friends about, that you've got an expensive gun, this is not it. If you want a gun that you can make shoot and you're on a budget like I am, this is a good choice. Now we move to the Ruger. And this gun, I actually, a couple of things drew me to this gun. All the reviews about the accuracy on this gun make it very interesting. I love this spiral fluted barrel. I have a custom 7 PRC with a preferred barrel blanks stainless barrel that's fluted, spiral fluted, and that was my beginning of loving these spiral fluting. It has a muzzle brake on it. This gun kicks less than the Mossberg by far. Still not used to the stock. This is not what I call traditional for me. And we'll just have to shoot it a little more to see how we like it. Now then, this again has the 6-24 by 50 Blackhound scope on it, which I have shot a number of these now, and actually really like the Blackhound. For the money, this is a very budget-friendly, good shooting scope. And if you are interested in those, you can go to Blackhound and buy that. If you'll use my code PIP, it'll get you 15% off of what's already a tremendous sale price. So look at the Blackhounds if you're looking for a budget scope. This gun came with quite a zipper sound, and I think that's one of the things that you hear when people are talking about these, the knock. So, but if you'll polish on that, will get rid of a bulk of that. This still has a little bit in it, but I'm about done polishing. This won't affect what I do with the gun. The bolt is very smooth. Now the problem came with the bolt lift. And after you pull the trigger, this bolt lift coming out of here, measured in my country boy way, was about 11.5 pounds to lift this bolt. And went on YouTube and started looking at the remedies. And there is one out there. Scared me to death because, again, I'm not a blacksmith. But you can take this bolt apart. Very simple to do. And the spring, the cocking spring that's in here, which is cocked upon lift by a set of little cams in the back of this bolt, right back here. They took that spring out and cut about 2 rings off of that spring to lessen that tension. So I did that, and this bolt lift now is about 6.5 pounds. This is much more normal, and there'll be a video coming out on what we did to this gun, but that's what we did. We worked with that spring in there, and we'll tell you more about that in a different video. But we did that, and then Ruger gives you an adjustable trigger, and it is not very adjustable. This trigger came at 4.5 pounds, and we could get it down to well over 3.5 pounds with the adjustment. So again, went out on YouTube to see what the fix was. And again, while you have the gun out of the stock, you can take this trigger, pull one pin out of the trigger housing, and the trigger will come out, and there is a tension spring in that trigger. And that's what the set screw in the trigger adjustment does. It tightens or lessens the tension on that spring. What I saw was those guys, again, cut a ring off of that spring, slipped it back in, and tested the pull. And they cut that ring off until they got that just right. This trigger sits at about 2 pounds now, and is a very good trigger. A much smoother, easier trigger than the Mossberg. So the stock on this gun, the bedding is much, much better than what's on the Mossberg. The stock is much firmer than the Mossberg. So the Ruger is probably going to be my keeper gun, and I'm probably getting ready to sell the Mossberg and let somebody else play with that. I don't need 2 of these 6.5 PRCs to play with, but I wanted to compare those before I sell the Mossberg, and let you know kind of my thoughts on these 2, what I consider budget guns. Hope you learned a little something about what I've done to it. Again, I'm not a gunsmith. I'm not a gun expert. I've been messing with these things for a number of years, and I just like tinkering with them and trying to make them better shooters for what I do. Great hunting, great shooting. See you next time.